Hey, what up? It's your boy Darien Ramroop, aka Zion, and I'm just doing this little feature here so you all can get a feel and know a little bit more about my upcoming album, which is entitled The Journey. Okay, so here it goes.
Okay, so Zion, is there a testimony or anything attached to the reason why you name your album The Journey? And tell us about the journey and about yourself, how you discovered yourself, how you came about being a minister. So tell us here now, the journey.
Okay, well, I started being a recording minister back in 2010, right? So, I always loved music from a very young age, and I just had something special for the reggae vibe, started listening to people like Showing Gardner, Mr. Links, JD, so all this hard vibes for the reggae, soca, everything in one, right? But in 2011, I attempted doing an album which would have been entitled Stepping in Faith. Things didn't really happen as well, and after a while, I just didn't decide to do an album. But I believe I was praying about something late 2011, and God was saying, this is your time to really rise up and go out and, really do my work, and this is the time that you need to do your album for 2012. And I was like, God, this is really short notice period, and how am I going to go about doing an album and finishing it for 2012? And he was like, do not worry, son, I am with you. And I really stepped out in order to do an album in 2012, and I placed it in all. As you all may know, the album is named The Journey, so I kind of placed everything behind this with stuff I went through in the past, walking along life's road, what I encountered, my pain, struggles, I kind of placed it all together and named the album The Journey, so people can know it. Yes, it has a testimony attached to it. I'll give you a little more about it coming down, but yes, The Journey, about 16 tracks, it's still working on it. Have some tracks already finished, will be mastering soon by Mount Zion Productions by Jason Providence. We're just doing final arrangements right now. Worked with some great artists on this album, have some great songs on it like Send Down Your Fire, We Need You Lord, Unity. We have some really great songs. Pushing On, one of my breakthrough songs is Pushing On. This is along the lines of the journey, right? Yes, stuff happened in my life that triggered off the journey to come into place, so I'm telling you a little bit more about it, right?
Okay, so tell us a little more about it and with the testimony attached.
Okay, I'm a pastor's kid, right? And being a pastor's son and being in ministry is a tough thing. People always look up to you and be like, okay, there's the pastor's son, and they'll expect greatness of me. And usually at the school age, going to school to teen years, along that lines, growing up 14, 15, 16, along that lines, began smoking, began drinking, hanging out with the wrong company, associating myself in the wrong set of stuff, and that was just only the beginning. I had a weakness and a struggle for girls on the whole, and through all that, I keep finding myself doing the wrong thing, make my parents shame or everything could possibly think about. I think that I passed through it, and people always look at me and say, there's the pastor's kid and he could do much more, and I was like, let me live my life. People kind of tell me what to do, and I went through a whole lot, and it reached a point where my parents gave up on me, everybody around gave up on me. They think that, there's nothing he could do again to disappoint us in life. He's just a disappointment. To everyone, I was a disappointment. And then one night I decided, what, I'm not going through this again, and enough is enough. And I wanted change in my life. Yes, I wanted my life to end. And I sat down. I remember I sat down with a Bible and contemplating suicide, and I asked God, I said, God, what is it that you want from me? And it was either one out of two things would have happened that night. Either I turned my life over to God, or I might have ended up dead. And I began to read the Bible, and the pages began to turn, I know it fell in a chapter in Matthew which said that I have chosen you to go out in the world and preach the gospel. And you know, it has more along the scriptures. And I read the whole book of Matthew in that night. You know, and I was asking God, I just thanked Him for everything He's done in my life. And then I reflected back in my past when I was a kid, about 6 years. You know, I had a massive asthma attack. And you know, we did not have a car back then. My family, my parents didn't have a car. We was renting. And you know, I had this massive asthma attack and no one did not know what to do. And before my parents could have called the neighbor, wake up the neighbor from the house about 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning time, all my parents told me is that I went clear and that there was no life in my body for a period of time. And we went to the hospital later in the morning. You know, we reached there and everybody said that, you know, there's nothing we could do again. That's it with him. You know, my father began to pray. And while he began to pray, you know, bit by bit life began to come back in my body. And as I prayed, I could be able to breathe again. You know, and it's indeed a miracle for what God has done in my life. And probably if I didn't have a purpose and a plan upon the face of this earth, I would have been dead that day. But God, I realized that He has chosen me to do His work, and this is what I'm about to do, you know. So, I mean, that's all that the journey is about, you know, my struggles, you know, some stuff I wouldn't speak about, but along my ideas, you know, coming up till now, you know, it's always a struggle, and I've lost friends, I've lost close people. I mean, people that will never leave my side, people that always sort of been there, you know. So I want to thank God for everything He has done in my life, you know. And I just want to encourage you all that no matter what you encounter along the journey, no matter what you may face, you know, God is always there for you. He will always strengthen you. Hold on to His word and never give up, you know. So keep humble unto Him. He'll never leave you. He'll never leave your side. Pray. You know what I mean? Fast. Pray, you know. Just seek God in everything that you do. He'll never leave you. I mean, right?
So Zion, tell us, when will your album be dropping?
Okay, well, you know, my album will be out September 24th. You know, I've been praying about it, that it be a blessing unto people's lives. Produced by some great people, you know, Rohan Dell of Jamaica, Edward Holland Jr. from England, Mount Zion Productions, Jason Providence, you know. It's all going to be really great songs. Not forgetting all the people who worked on other songs, on rhythms, on tracks, you know. Thank you for everything, you know. I hope this album really be a blessing onto everyone. Look out for the journey, as I said, and store September 24th, featuring some great songs. You could go on YouTube, check out some of the songs, Pushing On, Send Down Your Fire, Unity, We Need You Lord, Facebook, Reverb Nation, you know what I mean? So look out for it, it's going to be great, right? That's your boy Darien Ramroop, aka Zion, from Trinidad and Tobago. Just want to thank you all for listening to this, and look out for Blog 1, which will be out soon. Everybody had blogged about the album so far. Princess Vanessa from Guyana, Soul Construction from Grenada, you know. The concert, the album launch concert will be soon, the 29th of September. The venue is still to be announced. Artists have already been booked. Reynard Rollins, Richie of Grenada, JD, you know, Radical Child, David Matas, you know, it's going down on that night, you know. So I just want to encourage you all, just keep humble, remain focused upon God, and look out for the album.